Terrance Phillips, born May 27, 1975, better known by his stage name Jadakiss, is an American rapper from Yonkers, New York. Personal life. Legal issues. On July 5, 2004, Jadakiss was arrested in North Carolina on marijuana and illicit gun possession charges. Several months later, he reached a plea agreement on misdemeanor charges and was ordered to pay a $900 fine. On October 7, 2006, Jadakiss was once again arrested in his hometown of Yonkers, New York on gun and drug possession charges. A Yonkers Police Department spokesperson said Jadakiss was one of four men sitting in a 2006 Toyota Camry that was parked near the intersection of Nepperhan Avenue and Elm Street in Yonkers at around 5 a.m. Saturday. Officers said the vehicle's driver was behaving oddly and said they noticed a strong odor of marijuana while approaching the car. Inside the vehicle, police found a .38 caliber revolver that had been reported stolen. According to the Associated Press, the weapon was loaded. All occupants were charged with possession of a stolen firearm. Jadakiss was also charged with possession of marijuana. A small amount was found on his person. The driver, Darnell Frazier, was charged with driving under the influence. The other two men in the vehicle are listed as Benjamin Lockhart and Christian Smith. All were remanded to Westchester County Jail and were held until at least Tuesday of the following week, when they were due in court. He began his career in the 1990s and formed the hip-hop trio The Louch alongside Styles P and Sheek Louch in 1994. The group signed with Puff Daddy's Bad Boy Records, an imprint of Arista Records, to release their debut studio album, Money, Power and Respect, 1998. Their second album, We Are the Streets, 2000, was released by Rough Riders Entertainment, an imprint of Interscope Records. Both peaked within the top 5 of the Billboard 200 and yielded critical praise. Their two subsequent albums, Filthy America, It's Beautiful, 2013, and Living Off Experience, 2020, were both released by Jay-Z's Rock Nation and met with continued praise. After the Louch's second album, the trio each began pursuing solo careers, and Jadakiss signed with Rough Riders as a solo act to release his first two solo albums, Kiss the Game Goodbye, 2001, and Kiss of Death, 2004. Both were met with positive critical reception, and the latter debuted atop the Billboard 200. He then signed with Def Jam Recordings to release his third and fourth albums The Last Kiss, 2009, and Top 5 Dead or Alive, 2015, which peaked at numbers 3 and 4 on the chart, respectively. He has since released the collaborative album Friday on Elm Street, 2017, with hometown rapper Fabulous, and his fifth solo album, Ignatius, 2020, both to critical acclaim. Early life. Terrance Phillips was born on May 27, 1975, in Yonkers, New York, and had an interest in hip-hop from an early age. At age 12, he began hustling after his parents asked him to earn his own money. He began freestyle rapping for money after watching other people do it on the street corner. While freestyling, he eventually met longtime friends Sheek Louch and Styles P. Career. Phillips quickly developed a small underground fan base and at the age of 12 entered himself into a freestyle competition in Florida where he attracted the attention of the owners of Rough Riders. Along with Styles and Louch, he formed a group known as the Warlocks, and the trio began rapping together. They eventually met Mary J. Blige, who, impressed with their lyrics, handed their demo to Puff Daddy, who signed the group to his label Bad Boy. 1994 to 2000, The Louch. Upon signing with Bad Boy, Puff Daddy shortened the group's name from the Warlocks to simply The Louch. They made their first appearance on Main Source's 1994 LP Fuck What You Think on the track Set It Off. They immediately began writing and performing on hit songs with fellow Bad Boy artists, including Puff Daddy's It's All About the Benjamins and I Got the Power, Maze's 24 Hours to Live, Mariah Carey's Honey, Mary J. Blige's Can't Get You Off My Mind, and the Notorious B.I.G.'s Last Day. The group developed a close relationship with B.I.G., during which time Jadakiss especially was taken under his wing. The Louch's first hit song was a tribute to the Notorious B.I.G. in the wake of his 1997 death, titled We'll Always Love Big Papa. The song was chosen as the B-side to Puff Daddy's smash hit B.I.G. tribute song I'll Be Missing You, and received widespread commercial success, achieving multi-platinum status from the Recording Industry Association of America, RIA. The success and reception of the song opened the door for them to write more of their own songs, and in 1998, the Louch released their debut studio album, Money, Power and Respect. The album was both a commercial and critical success, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the U.S. top R&B/hip hop albums chart, and went on to achieve platinum status. Though the record was successful, the Louch grew unhappy with Bad Boy and Puff Daddy's glossy, radio-friendly production, feeling it conflicted with their grimier street aesthetic. Following the release of their debut album, the group left the label to sign with Rough Riders. They released their second album, We Are the Streets, in 2000, through Rough Riders. The album was once again a success, peaking at number 5 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the U.S. top R&B/hip hop albums chart. It featured production from Swizz Beatz and Timbaland, and spawned one single, Ride or Die, Bitch, featuring fellow Rough Riders artist Eve. 2001 to 2007, solo career. Jadakiss in 2009. Jadakiss began embarking on a solo career in 2001, and his debut album, Kiss the Game Goodbye, was released in August 2001 on the Rough Riders/Interscope label. The album featured popular guests and producers such as DJ Premier, The Alchemist, DMX, Eve, Snoop Dogg, Nas and Swizz Beatz, and was commercially successful, going on to be certified gold by the RIAA and selling over 200,000 copies during its first week of release. Despite commercial success, the album received negative reception from critics who criticized the album for being repetitive and uninspired. Jadakiss has acknowledged the criticism as valid, saying the record was done less out of inspiration but rather out of contractual obligations to Bad Boy. The album produced 3 singles, We Gonna Make It featuring Styles P, Knock Yourself Out, and Put Your Hands Up. Jadakiss followed this album with Kiss of Death, released in June 2004. It features guest appearances from Snoop Dogg, Eminem, The Lox, Kanye West, Pharrell Williams, Nate Dogg, DJ Quick, and more. His song Why, featuring Anthony Hamilton and produced by Havoc of Mobb Deep, became one of the year's biggest hits, spawning a remix featuring Styles P, Common, and Nas. Why remains Jadakiss' biggest hit, peaking at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song also garnered controversy for a line in which Jadakiss claims that he believes George W. Bush planned the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Another single from the record, You Make Me Wanna, featuring Mariah Carey, peaked at number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100. The album was both a commercial and critical success, receiving better reviews than his previous album and debuted at number 1 on both the Billboard 200 and the top R&B/hip hop albums charts. In late 2007, Jadakiss signed to Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records, a move Jay had been trying to arrange for a long time. The move came on the heels of increased D-Block/Rockefeller collaborations. In 2006, Jadakiss and former rival Beanie Sigel collaborated on DJ Khaled's album Listen, the album, and in 2007, on Freeway's album Free at Last. Styles P appeared on a radio freestyle with Freeway and Sigel, and also appeared briefly in the video for Jay-Z's American Gangster single Rock Boys, in which he throws up the famous Rockefeller sign, the diamond. In 2004, Jadakiss and Fat Joe were featured on a song by Ja Rule titled New York. In this song, Ja Rule accuses 50 Cent of being a snitch, and also takes shots at G-Unit. In turn, 50 Cent released a song titled Piggy Bank in which he disses Fat Joe and Jadakiss among others for performing on the song. This caused Jadakiss to release numerous 50 Cent diss tracks, including Checkmate, Problem Child, Shots Fired, and I'm Sorry Ms. Jackson. 50 Cent along with his G-Unit crew responded with songs such as I Run New York, Window Shopper, and Death Wish by Lloyd Banks. Jadakiss challenged 50 Cent to an onstage battle in Madison Square Garden for $1 million, but 50 Cent declined. The feud was later resolved, with Jadakiss and G-Unit performing together at 50 Cent's This Is 50 festival on October 3, 2009. In 2004, Bill O'Reilly called Jadakiss a smear merchant due to lyrics in his hit song Why, in which Jadakiss lyrically implied George W. Bush coordinated the September 11th attacks, with the line, Why do niggas push pounds of powder? Why did Bush knock down the towers? Jadakiss said the line was a metaphor for Bush administration not doing enough to stop the attacks. In the music video for Why, a man holds up a picket sign reading Buck Fush, a spoonerism of Fuck Bush. O'Reilly took the position that the president should be allowed to sue Jadakiss for slander. The track was eventually banned on some radio stations or played with the lyrics in question censored. 2009 to 2015, The Last Kiss and Top 5 Dead or Alive. Jadakiss performing in 2011. In 2009, Jadakiss released his much-delayed and anticipated third studio album, The Last Kiss. The first single, By My Side featuring Neo, was released in October 2008. Two more singles, Can't Stop Me and Death Wish featuring Lil Wayne, were released in 2009. One more single, Who's Real, featuring Swizz Beatz and OJ Da Juice Man, released later that year. In 2010, Jadakiss left Rockefeller Records. In 2011, he was featured on two DJ Khaled tracks, one of them titled It Ain't Over Till It's Over, featuring Mary J. Blige and Fabulous, and the remix of Welcome to My Hood, also featuring Ludacris, Busta Rhymes, Twista, Mavado, Birdman, Ace Hood, Fat Joe, Game, Bun B, and Waka Flocka Flame. On April 26, 2012, Jadakiss released his mixtape Consignment, hosted by DJ Drama. On June 4, 2013, Jadakiss released the first single from his by then upcoming fourth studio album, Top 5, Dead or Alive, titled Big Boy Dialogue, featuring vocals from The Dream. The album was scheduled to be released during September or October 2013, but after much delay, the album was finally released on November 20, 2015. It features guest appearances from Akon, Future, Jeezy, Lil Wayne, Neo, Nas, Nipsey Hussle, Styles P, Puff Daddy, Sheek, Louch, Swizz Beatz, Wiz Khalifa and Young Buck, and was supported by two singles, Jason featuring Swizz Beatz, and Ain't Nothin' New featuring Neo and Nipsey Hussle. The album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and received positive reviews from critics. 2016 present, The Louch Reunion, Friday on Elm Street, Ignatius and Mr. Vs. Jadakiss at the Sound Academy in 2014. In 2016, the Louch released their first album in 16 years, titled Filthy America. It's Beautiful. The album featured guest appearances from Fetty Wap, Mobb Deep and Gucci Mane, and peaked at number 42 on the Billboard 200. On February 29, 2016, Fabulous posted a picture on Instagram with Jadakiss with the caption, Freddy vs. Jason coming soon, hinting at the release of a joint project with Jadakiss, titled Freddy vs. Jason. On April 2, 2016, Fabulous and Jadakiss released a freestyle of Future's Wicked from Purple Rain that was scheduled to appear on Freddy vs. Jason, but did not make the final cut of the album. They also revealed that it would not be a mixtape, but instead a full album. On October 31, 2017, the album's first and only single, Stand Up featuring Future, was released. On November 21, 2017, it was announced that the album title was changed to Friday on Elm Street. The album was released on November 24, 2017, and features guest appearances from Future, Jeezy, Styles P, French Montana and Yo Gotti. On March 6, 2020, Jadakiss's fifth studio album Ignatius was released. On June 29 of the same year, Jadakiss defeated Fabulous in a battle on Timbaland and Swizz Beatz vs. held virtually because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The following year, Jadakiss returned for another Vs. battle, this time alongside the Louch against the Diplomats, Dipset, live with an audience at the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. The Louch were widely regarded as winning decisively, with decisive moments including Jadakiss calling out the Diplomats for using full songs including their own vocals instead of TV tracks and then performing his freestyle over the Notorious B.I.G.'s Who Shot Ya, originally released on his 2010 mixtape The Champ Is Here, PT3, and answering Cameron's remark before performing Welcome to New York City that the Louch did not have a New York record that could not beat it with his verse on New York. Jadakiss also performed the verse when Fat Joe, who was in the audience for the Louch Diplomats vs. and Ja Rule faced each other in the subsequent vs. at the same venue. Following their victory, streams of Louch music increased by 215%, including Jadakiss Who Shot Ya, Freestyle, both studio and live versions, being added to the iTunes Store and Apple Music 11 years after its initial release. Jadakiss was also dubbed Mr. Vs. after becoming the first artist to win 2 battles and was able to restructure his Def Jam contract. Just over a year after the battle, while they were performing at LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Festival at Forest Hills Stadium in Queens, Jadakiss presented Styles P and Sheek Louch with Louch championship rings and unveiled his business ventures. Along with longtime friend and business associate Jay Jackson and Jadakiss launched an online multimedia creative collective called So Raspy that also serves as an umbrella company for his business endeavors, which include an online publication, record label, apparel, and a YouTube channel. Reinvesting in their community, in the summer of 2014, Jadakiss and Styles P opened a juice bar in Yonkers, New York, called Juices for Life. Together, they have gone on to open 2 more branches in the Bronx and 1 in Brooklyn. In October 2022, Jadakiss launched a family-owned coffee company called Kiss Cafe with his father and son. House raid. Police arrested 2 men on multiple felony charges after they raided Jadakiss' Yonkers, New York apartment and found heroin, 5 grams, and marijuana, 6.5 pounds. Jadakiss was neither present during the investigation nor wanted by the law enforcement agencies. The incident took place on the morning of August 24, 2009, and started when an investigation revealed the presence of marijuana inside the vehicle driven by 2 men. Both men were reportedly in police custody and had been criminally charged.